Welcome back to the Metroidvania Month 20 devlog. This is devlog 2 on pretty tiles. On today's agenda, we have map making, rooms, pretty rooms, theming, playable rooms, some shout outs for other Metroidvania Month 20 projects, and a call for viewer suggestions. The music you're hearing right now is the same track I played from 909 Crime last week, but updated a little bit this last week. While that track plays and this lovely time-lapse goes, we're going to talk about map making and rooms again. I did a lot of work this weekend on making sure that the data I was giving my generator and my programming logic really lined up with the assumptions that I'd made as far as how I was handling room templates, and basically there was a bit of a mess that had to be cleaned up. I did a dev stream on Saturday morning. It was very, 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 very productive. A lot of people showed up. Shout out to everybody who showed up to that stream. I'd done some work on Friday to make sure that rooms that were not simply quarter subrooms could be accepted. And so now we can do horizontal and vertical and just whole rooms that take up a whole screen by themselves. And that's pretty cool in and of itself, but I did want to do a little bit more. I wanted the rooms to be pretty. So I started working on some tiles, and here's how they look now when they're being generated. There's been a bit of an aesthetic unity that wasn't really there before. I sort of leaned more into the nifless side of my influences on this one. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm also going to go with a smaller map for now. I think a smaller map is more manageable, both in terms of quality of rooms and also in the event that I do need to save a generated world to the disk. Moving on a little bit to talk about theming again, I think the theme jumping out at me most at this point is revisited. Maybe there's a civilization, they're returning after about 10,000 years, and it's not entirely clear why they have to be returning instead of just staying where they were to begin with. I think this would also dovetail nicely with a conceit that I've considered. Maybe there are like 1,000 amulets, like the amulet of Yonder, that you're looking for, and maybe one's in each province of this old civilization. And that sort of explains the similarity, but also the differences in the way that they generate in the sort of in-universe way. In probably more exciting news, you can now play a generated room. I haven't done room transitions yet, but you can now actually play in a room that the game just generated. And that feels awesome. Before this devlog ends, I want to take a moment and shout out some other Metroidvania Month projects. Some of these titles may be temporary. There is Infiltration Protocol by Jeff Temple, Project Hell by Case Lord. He also shouted me out in his first devlog, and I do want to thank him for being so supportive. Hoodavania by Kevin Monitor. The Millennial Warrior by Michael Games. Fish Time Jam by Quiv Score. Untold Stories by Supernova Developments. Isla's Bad Fishing Trip by TPD. And that's it for this session of shoutouts. I'd also like to take a moment and check if anybody in the audience has any suggestions. If there's something that you'd like to see in these devlogs, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Have a great day.